All right, here we go. We got Argyle CTF to kick this one off. These two played this exact map mode earlier today. I believe it was a 3-0 score on the side of FaZe Clan. It was the first game of the series in winners bracket. But that being said, after that Argyle CTF game, it was all Optic Gaming up until that grand finals appearance where FaZe Clan looked like the better team. I'm still going to give the nod to Optic. We saw them lose that first series to Cloud9 at the grand finals of the world championship. They rebounded and became a different beast. Whatever they did that day, hopefully they have some of that magic left in them in order to do so here, because they're going to need every bit of energy. This FaZe Clan team is out for blood. They hit their stride there towards the end of that series, and those games were looking like there's a new sheriff in town, and his name's Renegade on the side of FaZe. Argyle CTF is loading up, and these players, if they pick up where they left off, I want to start with Renegade's point of view, because he was taking over every game in that first best of 7.
I'm a little worried for Optic here as well. Optic has already lost this game type several times this tournament, and FaZe one that has actually come out and won it a couple times as well. So if FaZe is able to come off to a hot start, like we said, the grand finals back at Halo World Championships after the reset was a 4-0 in favor of Optic. If we see this grand finals reset start off in FaZe's favor, that could bode well for what the rest of the series holds.
All right. Made down, and maybe a lesson learned from the previous Argyle CTF on the side of Optic. They seem to have gotten the better of FaZe as of right now. Not quite sure where Camo ended up. It's in the hands of Formal, and you couldn't ask for a player better than Formal to find himself with this position. And now look at this, sneakily playing, but he's getting spotted out. A trade is not what you want to see with that level of power, and unfortunately for Formal, he gets caught out in that situation. FaZe traded out, and that's a phenomenal job by FaZe to lose the opening break, but to remove a piece of the puzzle that Optic wanted to use.
Yeah, Frosty grabs himself, and that's himself 3 kills off the start here. Formal almost made a god tier play. He freezes, he stops moving with Camo because he doesn't want World 2 to see him. But unfortunately for Formal, Renegade runs up the ramp, and Formal is forced to take an engagement and only walk away with a trade.
Now that I think about it, it was a fairly quiet first best of 7 for Lucid. I wouldn't be shocked to see him completely turn his play around as he shows up in the kill feed again with the snipe. He's at a 3-1, 4-1-0 statistical performance so far. Obviously, we're playing CTF, but if Lucid can start to get his kills a little bit more throughout this series, he's going to give Optic every bit of life to continue their dominant story and win this championship.
Yeah, a minute and a half into the game, Lucid 5 kills. FaZe, they just got their 7th kill, make that 8th, but Lucid was just on an absolute tear, opening up the game with a killing spree. You can see though, he gets taken out. Royal 2, he has that sniper rifle. He's got 1 shot left, puts it to use, and Lucid getting shut down again. And that is so painful at times, Wes. When you're in a scenario where you are spawning and dying immediately, it just takes you out of the game for so long.
Yeah, and right there, Lucid should have been looking towards his snipe spawn, knowing that Royal 2 advanced, because he had just died to Royal 2. He had the information of what Royal 2's most likely route was. That just shows a lack of awareness right now on a very new map mode combo for these guys, which is why we're probably seeing Optic kind of struggle throughout this tournament on this map and mode. It's because they're far less practiced, their timings are a little off, and their awareness maybe not what it is on every other map.
See Renegade picks up a double kill. TriPPPeY and Formal go down. SnakeBite, recognizing 3 are dead, immediately grapples into the base, and look at this collapse here coming onto Lucid. No matter how good of a player you are, when it's 2-3 members charging at you, very rarely is there any opportunity to do anything besides die.
And we talked about the hot start from Lucid. We'll take a look at the kills as this flag is approaching the cap. It's Renegade with 10 as the rest of FaZe have 3, 4, and 3. Renegade is dominating this grand finals, continuing that domination to game 1 of the second best of 7 and 3-4-3. You think that was done on purpose? Maybe, maybe not.
And you can see 3 dead for Optic. Once again, APG, last guy alive, just doing everything he can to try to get in position. I'm not sure if that frag nade hit him or not, but it looks like he does get taken to almost no shields. SnakeBite finishing off 1 kill. Formal goes down as well. That's 2 dead, 3 dead once again. Optic doing everything they can. Lucid trying to move across the map. This is actually a pretty solid play. He may have caught some members off guard, but of course, it's a repulsor top middle. But what a win for Lucid over Royal 2.
Yeah, what a win that is. And as camo was coming up, the flag was being run. And if Royal 2 wins that, you for sure think that this flag probably still on the move at this point. So Lucid wins a crucial piv to potentially award his team camo. They're set up for it right now. Not necessarily going for it yet. And I'm wondering who on Optic is going to be the one to do it.
Yeah, you can see it's very slow here. Lucid ultimately decides he's the one that's going to grab this camo, get some damage down on Frosty. That kill gets traded out, or picked up here, I should say, by TriPPPeY. Lots of action still going on. Doing his best shot to keep APG alive. 2 members from FaZe pushing in.
God.
The first missed melee opens up an opportunity for Renegade to do a 180 snipe shot and actually kill the camo player. Just
It's not
heartbreaking for Optic.
It's not often you see Lucid make a mistake of that magnitude, but Lucid pays for it with his life. He's unable to hit the melee, and because of that, that's a frustrating moment. It looks like they've been able to rebound ever since, but these camos from Optic, they've got to be put to use in better light, because that's the second squandered camo that we've seen this game.
Yeah, Renegade 14 kills already on this map. It just takes him a couple minutes to immediately just pull himself away from the rest of the pack and lead the charges here. You know, that Renegade Revenge Tour is definitely kind of being spoken into existence.
How long is the Renegade Revenge Tour? Are we going to get that all season long? Because this is a terrifying sight. The amount of slaying power that he has been playing with all day today is unmatched right now, and typically Lucid is right there, if not leading the lobby in slays, but for some reason Renegade seems to have brought his A+ game here for the Snowdown Championship. In 16 and 10, he's got a lot of deaths, but those kills just create so much opportunity and space for the rest of the boys in red.
Love that play from Lucid. Slides in so quickly, avoids any no-scope opportunity from Royal 2, and finishes off the kill. They had 3 dead for a moment, but as we say that, they're coming off spawn. They're working on getting the players here from FaZe trapped in their base. They're going to secure themselves. No, that's going to be Renegade that grabs the camo. How they have 3 dead and Renegade is the guy that grabs camo, I'll never have an idea.
Yeah, that is a mistake of awareness and what we're playing for at the time from Optic. And honestly, as the mistakes start to add up from a very uncharacteristic from this Optic gaming team, you have to start to feel concerned. It's just a 1-0 lead, but this is not the standard Optic that we've seen play just about perfect Halo for about the last 6 months. These mistakes not capitalized on all the time. Renegade was taken down with camo, but still forced to play defense. Optic needs to figure out a way to get a realistic flag on the move.
Yeah, and even though they're only down 1-0, this is one of the maps that is probably at this point in time in the HCS the hardest map to cap on.
Yeah.
Right? It is one of the longest routes you have to go. It's significantly longer than like Aquarius. The pit is actually a really small route, you know? And without Catalyst, this is by far one of the hardest ones to come back in.
100%. Plus, in my opinion, teams are just running the flag the wrong way, but we'll go over that in a different portion of time. But for right now, it is Optic with mid control. They're trying to deny this snipe push from Frosty and SnakeBite. They got good damage, but nobody finishing these kills is massive. Somehow SnakeBite's able to get a shield bag and knock down both Lucid and APG to a respawn screen. And FaZe, for some reason, feel like their defense is so strong that every time Optic get to the 50-yard line, they have no chance in advancing.
Yeah, I mean, I think every time they have gone up to the 50-yard line, they kind of skip the 50 and go to the 75, right? Like when we saw 3 dead for FaZe, what they needed to do was get top center. They needed to get the camo, which was only moments away from spawning, but they tried to get all the way up into FaZe's base, and they left Renegade to just kind of grab that camo and do whatever he wanted.
100%. If Renegade doesn't get that camo, we're probably talking about a completely different conversation, but that's not the case. Camo is up this time around. Lucid is going to be the benefactor of that power up this game. And hopefully this time around, Optic can put this camouflage to use and tie this game up.
Yeah, you can see he is using that camo. 14 kills for him. Renegade leads the pack, or leads the game, with 21. And you can see here, Lucid, he needs to put this to use unlike he's ever put a camo to use before. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left to play. He's trying to spot out some of these players. Does get eyes on a few, but you can see he doesn't want to just play for a kill. He wants to get behind the enemy team, maybe snag a kill here, and then continue running flag. SnakeBite, though, he's in perfect position to slow this down. Oh, and wins the 1v1. I thought Lucid was going to have that. He had a beautiful peek going on, but SnakeBite wisely drops down and picks up that win.
Lucid was playing that so perfectly right there, up until the point where he missed his last shot. SnakeBite makes him pay for it. That flag is still out, as Lucid has been able to respawn here, but I'm not quite sure if anybody's going to be able to really advance it. It gets returned eventually. And at this point, Kyle, the clock starts to become a factor. 2:36 is plenty of time. But each life or each death you have as an Optic player, you're starting to become even more concerned.
And somehow, like, watching Renegade, he gets these kills, and somehow he's like 3/4 health after every engagement. It allows him just to immediately start fighting again or position himself to stay alive. A lot of these engagements, he plays so well. He walks away with so much shield. The opportunity for a quick trade just isn't there.
Yeah, you can tell the Formal's going to play for this camo. Unfortunately, he's going to be in a battle, and not quite sure what's going on. The observer giving us a limited point of view, I'll say, of the action on screen. It is going to be an Optic member jumping over and acquiring that. We caught the toes of the player. But now with another camouflage in hand, Optic Gaming, this is going to be their last power-up opportunity. And they have a couple of slays to pair with it. So this flag on the move is a very realistic opportunity if they can continue this run. It's all about getting the next set of slays.
Oh my goodness, so many nades coming in. Lucid has a sniper rifle. He grabs himself 1 kill, but Frosty, so much health after that first kill, secures the double, and that sniper rifle down. Lucid, now he's forced to run that flag, even though he also has sniper in his back pocket, and he knows he needs to catch one of these players if he's going to continue moving this flag. With 1:10 left to play on the clock, he's being sandwiched by 4 players and has no opportunity to survive.
I love that double hop on the return right there. I would have loved Lucid to continue to advance that flag maybe a little bit farther, get it into a more open space for his team to compete for. But I'm not going to tell Lucid how to play Halo, and he was making a hell of a play, even just getting the flag to that point. But in the meantime, Frosty on the back of that slays, on the back of the return, tries to get a separate flag on the move. If I'm FaZe coming off respawn in this situation, I'm focused on defense for the next 40 seconds. I even think that flag pull was a little risky.
Yeah, I was right there with you, Wes. I mean, if they were able to move that across and tap it, sure, great decision. But you running that flag and dying and really not getting much accomplished, you didn't really distract Optic for that long. They were already pushing up into your base. You could have maybe traded out a kill and just held off that defense. If they end up losing this game, or if Optic ends up tying it in these final seconds here, they're definitely going to want that one back.
Well, the defense stands strong. Renegade with 26 makes sure that that flag doesn't leave his base. And with 9 seconds left, there's a whole lot of ground for Optic to try and cover to get a pull. And I'm not quite sure anyone's in a position, especially with Frosty advancing in their face.
Yeah, you can see it. That's going to be game number 1 done here. FaZe, even after winning 4 straight against Optic Gaming and forcing the bracket reset, they make it 5 straight and take a 1-0 lead here in the final grand finals.
Yep. All of a sudden, FaZe now in the lead for this tournament on the back of an Argyle CTF. It was a closer affair than the one earlier today, but still the same outcome, the same result, and the same scoreline in the series. 1-0 FaZe for now in this best of 7. Remember that the bracket is reset, and now finally FaZe feel like they have the advantage and are the tournament favorites from here.
Yeah, I think they've definitely proven that now. Being able to take this lead, be up in the series, already take down Optic in a best of 7 as well. They're in prime position to continue this spree. They're able to end this in something like an 8-0 fashion. That's going to set the bar going into Charlotte. Now, there is one thing I want to say. It's CTF Argyle. like we said, I'm not sure all of Optic's matches today, but I've seen them lose that several times already. Absolutely not one of their strongest game types. A few of the guys have only played it a couple times, and I believe Formal had only played it his first time like a week ago. So definitely not, too much to worry about yet here for Optic Gaming. I mean, the only thing I'm worried about is how well FaZe is playing. But as far as game types go, definitely ability to get right back into this.
I would agree with that point, but that's the 5th straight game FaZe has won in a row at this point in the series. So FaZe Clan, they look strong. Optic need to come out in this game too to a hot start. They've got a 3-2 lead. I believe they should have camo based off the numbers and positional advantage that they have. I'm not quite sure what happened with that camouflage at the start, but this is what Optic needs to do right now. They need to get off to a start and stop the momentum of what FaZe has built for the past 5 games from happening. Camo gets deleted by SnakeBite. APG makes the mistake of challenging the commando player. SnakeBite makes him pay. And although Optic have that 2-kill lead, I would take that trade every day of the week.
Yeah, APG gets caught throwing a grenade. It exposes himself briefly out of his camo, and he wasn't expecting SnakeBite to be waiting there for him with that commando. Kill time just so fast on that weapon. Doesn't give APG an opportunity to do anything.
Still alive with this commando. SnakeBite continuing to deal damage. Stay alive. Dip, dive, dodge. Shoot. Even part of the equation in Halo, and right now SnakeBite just making Optic's lives a living hell with this commando, limiting their space. And this rotation from pipes to elevator has just given so much opportunity for FaZe to just set up how they want. Right now they have the map control advantage. Not quite sure where Shock is, but
it's it's in A in FaZe's hands. There it is in Turbine.
Okay, if we can hop on board with the Shock Rifle player and see how he's playing this one out, he's more than likely the player to watch.
Yeah, it's none other than Royal 2 who's holding that. And with the new camo coming up, this is what Optic's waiting to play for here. And at the same time, FaZe isn't going to let this camo go easily. They spotted out APG. He does not know Royal 2 is still in Turbine. Formal trades out 1 kill. Royal 2 gets another. Back and forth action here between TriPPPeY, Lucid, and Royal 2. Camo is up. Lucid grabs that and escapes. That is a trade Optic Gaming's got to be pretty happy with.
Yeah, instead of grappling the camo to himself, Royal 2 tries to go for the triple there, and because he misses the shot, it gives Lucid the opportunity to get that damage, make Royal 2 get out of dodge, secure the camo. And this is a different story this time around than the Argyle camos. Lucid already putting it to work, and look, FaZe is all trapped at elevator. This could be a massive moment for Optic to get not only back in this game, but this.
Oh, this is a tough spot to be in. You can just see they want to help Formal so much with these kills. He forces himself to shoot and give up his camo, and the teamwork too strong for FaZe. They end up taking out the camo. They taking out Lucid there, who's trying to play with camo and finishing off Formal. That is going to be a 3-kill lead now that we're seeing here. Royal 2 still with the sniper in his hands.
Well, it looked like a massive opportunity here for FaZe to push into control to really put the pressure on Optic. Actually, 3 going down for FaZe. Optic come off respawn. TriPPPeY gets the grapple and immediately gets over to help Lucid. The teamwork from Optic right there was insane to stop that push that was going to be an extremely effective one. TriPPPeY does eventually get taken down, but Optic's ability to keep this game close right there is everything the Green Wall needed to keep interest in this series.
Yeah, you can see, so 13-15, 2-kill game. And Optic, they for the most part have held gold control this game. Formal with the commando shots absolutely
I'm moving to Texas.
Yeah, absolutely rips Renegade. He cannot escape. And with that, Optic, they want to use this opportunity to try to push and close this lead.
SnakeBite, 6-3-3, having himself one hell of a game. His ability to stay alive so many times has already helped them have what was the lead now squandered as a few kills go in Optic's favor. Camo is coming up, and the camo control has been dominated by Optic so far throughout this game. And once again, Formal trying to secure that camo. I'm not quite sure where it went. He's got repulse instead of camo, and he does eat a grenade right there. Somebody on the map, I'm assuming Optic Gaming, had to have secured that camo, as it
I think Lucid just popped it. And
yeah, he gets eliminated right there. Renegade with Shock in hand, trying to push into blue. An aggressive push, pays for it with his life. It's a 2-kill game in Optic's favor, but they're going to have Shock in the back of blue, and this is where Formal could take over.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a misstep there for Renegade. He got the kill onto the camo player and wanted to press the issue, but jumped up a little bit too early, ate a grenade, and that's going to give Shock Rifle back in the hands of Optic Gaming here. You know how dangerous Formal can be with this.
Beautiful grenade, hits the second player unintentionally, but Formal is able to play around the pole well enough to where he's able to get that kill and stay alive. And now a few players from FaZe are in blue, but all of Optic here to try and flush them out.
Lots of back and forth action and a lot of damage going on to the FaZe players, but none of them get cleaned up. This is quite the stand-up. So many players over here towards C. The push is starting to come in. Great shot by Formal. Will help clean up that kill on the SnakeBite, but so many grenades and other aggression coming in. Renegade grabs himself a kill. Nice repulse here from Royal 2. Dodges or ducks underneath the shot, and they've got Shock Rifle back in their hands once again.
It was out of ammo, so he doesn't have another shot, and unfortunately, Formal does get the better of Royal 2. Formal with 11 kills all of a sudden, 11, 4, and 5. Giving Optic everything they need. Who better than him to step up here, keep his team in this series? And now it seems like all of the action coming towards Pipes. A double push from Optic. Everyone's eating grenades, but somehow they're still able to get a kill there. Formal eventually gets taken down. Royal 2 says, this Shock Rifle this time around is mine. And they take the lead with that play as well, 32-30.
Yeah, and that plasma pistol shot, he held it, he charged it, needed that extra second, which gave Formal a few shots, but a great job by Royal 2 to secure the kill, get that Shock Rifle. It does go back down on the map. However, SnakeBite, he's got camo. He's got eyes on players over here towards top A, and he knows Frosty's coming in to help him out. Now, great job by APG. I wasn't sure they were going to be able to secure that kill. It looks like he gets a melee down and will take out the camo player. If SnakeBite was able to survive with that and keep Repulsor, that would have been a bad moment here for Optic.
You just got to feel for APG. I feel like he's the one on the back end of these Shock Rifle kills a lot of the time so far throughout this game, too. And not that the Shock is in Renegade's hands, you can almost guarantee something's going to happen. A lot of players are weak, but multiple members on FaZe clans were the first victims in this team fight, and Renegade misses the repulse, misses the shock, and that means you go down. TriPPPeY now with that Shock Rifle and control of blue / control. This is a big opportunity. Optic needed that set of slays to get back into this one. They got it. Now they find themselves down 1.
Oh man, and endurance is going to become a factor in these games. These are
for both
such yeah, and even for us, even these games are so tight and so contested. This is definitely wears and tears on the players.
Perfect shots from TriPPPeY. The game's tied up. Give me something, Trip. As he spots a player on a single box, he's not able to take him out, but he's able to relocate, help his team over at elevator. Now with elevator control, they're going to really limit the space here that FaZe can potentially control. FaZe is going to be stuck in pipes. There is a player over towards control, and I believe it's Renegade. He gets taken down. Roll 2 in the back of blues by himself. He's getting hunted down, and these are 3 kills for Optic to extend their lead.
Yeah, and with camo coming up as well, Optic, they've got to stay alive. They've got to get out on the map and help out on some of these plays. APG does a phenomenal job staying alive, and he's still finessing his life. I think SnakeBite forgot about him or didn't know he was hiding bottom center, and APG is making plays here.
Yep, it's a 5-kill lead all of a sudden, make it 4. Still winnable on the side of FaZe, but they are coming off respawn right now, have no room for error. As this deficit all of a sudden, it was FaZe's game to lose at one point, it felt, towards the mid game, but Optic have done such a good job ever since. Renegade can't get the Shock Rifle back to safety, and that's another death costly. As Optic capitalize on that death, they look to be aggressive with their numbers advantage. The space is limited now for FaZe, and this is about to be all she wrote with a couple more kills.
And just to go back to what we just saw as Formal picks up that kill, they've got 49. Lucid gets taken out. Formal sitting at 19 kills and 8 deaths, doing his best Renegade impression here right now. And we're seeing Formal really heat up.
Well, 47-49, Renegade's getting pressed. Right now, no one actually flying at him. There is a player top glass. Renegade's trying to stay alive. The Shock Rifle was down up on that ledge. He's got a teammate with him now. This is a winnable game still for FaZe, 49-47.
If Optic does not win this game, this series is done. To be up this much, to be, you know, this in prime position to win, to have Formal at +10 already. If they don't come out ahead here, that is the 5 in a row, or 6 in a row for FaZe.
How do Optic tend to play this? APG off screen gets the kill onto Frosty, and that's going to do it. 50-47. Grand finals reset, all tied up at 1-1, and Optic Gaming show you that 5 is all they get.
And although Formal dropped 19 kills and was an absolute beast that game, my MVP for that one is APG. His ability to stay alive on C steps, help kill the guy, kill SnakeBite who was looking for him, helps his team secure the camouflage bottom middle, stays alive, gets an additional kill as well. He also got the 50th kill when things were looking as bleak as they can come. So shout out APG for a huge clutch factor in that one.
I'm still giving the MVP to Formal, but yeah, great play from APG there. It allowed Optic Gaming to solidify that should have been a little bit easier win towards the end, I'll say, but that was a very winnable game for FaZe. And now that Optic have tied this series up, I'm feeling much better about the opportunity for this series to go the distance.
Yeah, you can tell in the last series when they found themselves down by so much, they're thinking, okay, another bracket reset situation.
Yep.
We were in this scenario back in October, only a few months ago. We can come back, we can win this. The fact that they're able to close out that game, especially with how scary that started looking, they've got to be feeling good again.
Gotta be feeling the energy. They know what it means to have the bracket reset on them, to rebound properly, and to figure out a way to still become champions by the end of the day. That is the same Optic Gaming we are watching, but this is a different task, a different team that they're playing, and a new team that has ambitions of their own. And with this team only having 3 days of practice, what it would mean for them to even come out and win this tournament, even though it's an online tournament, that's massive for their mentality headed into Charlotte. So a lot on the line here for FaZe and Optic.
Oh, absolutely here. FaZe looking to come out and make a statement. They only announced their team this morning. They might win a tournament the same day they announce their new roster. That would be huge for them, as they've definitely kind of been chasing that victory again since, what was that, Orlando?
Yeah, this is the question of how good is this team, right? Like, how good are these 4 players going to be? What kind of a difference is Renegade need for them to just come out flat and win the first tournament that they play in? The sky's the limit at that point, right? Like, you are on the verge of going on something special along the way, right? Like, you're setting up that fairy tale story. If they lose it, well, we got to get better. We got to improve. Optic Gaming still the top dogs right now. What does Optic have to say about it? It's the question. Lucid 4-0-0 as he starts this game off. It's a trip cap, 50 unanswered points on the side of the green wall. And although Frosty picks up that kill, a much needed kill to release some of the pressure, FaZe are going to be on their back feet here in the start of game 3.
Yeah, solid start for Optic. They got to be feeling really good about that, especially as far as overall slays go. Frosty only now getting his 2nd kill of the game. That and Renegade here, the only one to have more than 1 at the time, or more than a breadstick. Optic, they lost their control. They had that triple cap. They lost it very quickly. 2 strongholds changing over to FaZe's favor. And you can see, where does Optic want to push here? How do they want to contest this? They might elect to go ahead and give up a little bit of time here to see if they can just play over Overshield.
Lucid gets the initial damage, immediately smells blood in the water, pushes, gets the kill. And because of it, he's going to be able to transfer over B by himself, as everyone else in the game is focused on this Overshield. Lucid, playing the objective efficiently enough, continues to extend the lead for Optic. However, FaZe is going to have this Overshield, so we'll see what they're able to do with it.
You can see Lucid, he's got Sniper, he's got Heat Wave. He picks up the kill on the Renegade. Great movement there to give the opportunity to even shoot that 3rd Heat Wave shot. He does end up falling. All weapons are down. I don't think anyone's kind of rotated over to pick that up. Formal is the last guy alive and is quickly kind of just moving out of the danger zone here. Lucid, he knows his weapons are down. He's working with Formal. He wants to get these back.
Wants to. Is he going to get the chance? It's a trade with Frosty. That was the Overshield player, though. Frosty also having a nice start at 6-2-2. So it's the Frosty Lucid show right now in the Slays department. But you can best believe everybody else is going to have their impact on the outcome of this game. It's just still early. Optic with an AC hold. It's untraditional. It's unconventional. But they make their way over to B. And as they transfer B in their favor, they could potentially have a trip cap in their mind if they wanted to pressure A, because they know exactly where FaZe are spawning up.
Yeah, and with the heavy pressure that FaZe just put to contest B here, it might have backfired in a big way. They put 3 members down. They're trying to push out of A to avoid getting trapped, but they're just dropping left and right.
60-point lead now for Optic Gaming. They're looking like they've woken up here in the grand finals. That Slayer may have done it, may have been the switch they needed. A massive couple of kills from Lucid, the assist, the kill, the damage. More importantly, Lucid creating another opportunity for Optic to get into this trip cap situation. And although B is transferred over, Optic are playing just about flawless with their rotations right now.
Yeah, definitely got a healthy lead here, although we've seen big leads built up like this that have quickly disappeared. Now, I think TriPPPeY wishes he could have that one back. He had Repulse Heat Wave, but not able to pick up the kill here on his SnakeBite, and that's right as Overshield is getting ready to spawn. Sometimes having a small mistake happens here and there, but a lot of times it's the point in the game in which that happens that really punishes you. So if they're not able to really contest Overshield here, that's going to hurt them.
That is tough. Right now, nobody really in a position to defend it, but as I say that, Renegade couldn't quite activate it. TriPPPeY gets the one-shot kill, but Lucid makes his way there. No ammo in the gun, or at least not enough, and that it's allowed Lucid to somehow, some way get over here, activate that overshield. It is deleted, but a lot of focus and prioritization costed, and not an overshield to play around yourself on the side of FaZe, so a massive play from Lucid once again.
Yeah, Lucid had multiple players weak and so much attention on him. The rest of Optic, they flood into A. They're focusing and want that triple cap, but great defense here by Royal 2 and the rest of FaZe to prevent that aggression. And you will see them secure 2 caps once again, but we'll see. For Frosty, he's coming in on a flank. Now he secures himself that repulse off of TriPPPeY's body. He's going to be able to get maybe another kill, but Lucid, he does not miss with this commando. Probably one of the best players with the commando that we have in this game.
And the recent buff makes that thing lethal. So Lucid doing a good job of controlling the sandbox, and even better job of putting it to use as they build this lead 157 to 69 now. Very often throughout this tournament, however, we have seen FaZe fall behind over 100 points several different games. FaZe typically have done a great job to rebound in the mid game, to figure out a way to make it close by the end, and most of the time pull it off. Is that going to be a similar story that FaZe can write here, or are Optic Gaming too strong of a team to fall this far behind to?
Yeah, it's going to be tough to tell here, but you know, one thing that I think a lot of Optic fans can rest well about is that it looks like Lucid is getting comfortable again. He's sitting at 17-4 already this game. The only person who's really done this so far today, maybe Formal and Renegade and Frosty.
Yeah. All right. So most of the players in this lobby.
Yeah. Half of them at least.
Checks out that they're in the grand finals, I guess.
Oh my.
But
did you just see that?
Lucid ripping heads off, flying everywhere, damage being dealt, and starting to take over. 19-4-4. Lucid has said enough is enough. The green wall is here to play.
Yeah, you can see Lucid's starting to look like he's playing matchmaking now with the way he's moving around and no-scoping everyone on this map.
Unbelievable. It doesn't make a difference who he's playing against when it's Lucid taking over in Halo Infinite. It can look like anybody. It doesn't really matter. He hits these incredible shots that give him an opportunity to really just end the game himself. And with this snipe, he has ended this game. It's over.
This is
FaZe getting slaughtered right now by Lucid, and he decides to relocate every single time. You can tell he's catching him off guard. Renegade's got to get in the hill, but he hits the last shot. The frenzy for Lucid.
Is this legal, Wes?
This reminds me of a young Elamite, actually.
I don't remember this. My screen never looks like this. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man, Lucid on fire. 24-5-5, and that's gonna do it. Optic take the lead back in the series after 5 straight from FaZe to reset the bracket, to gain the lead here in the initial final best of 7. It's been back-to-back games won by Optic Gaming, and that was the Lucid show.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find the words right now, Wes. You know, we've seen a lot of incredible play today, right? We've seen some incredible stat lines out of a lot of the players that I listed just a moment ago. I don't think there was a sequence or a game that looked like that from Lucid. He was playing on easy mode. He made that look like he was playing bots on that live fire game. He completely changed the dynamic of this series and did what probably only Lucid can actually do.
Yeah, that was incredible to watch. He literally took over the game. FaZe did not have the answer on how to shut him down, and you could tell how chaotic that even looked from FaZe's point of view. Every time they came off respawn, they may or may not have had a clue of where Lucid was. Did it matter? No. Lucid's reticle was in a perfect spot. Either hit the headshot, the body to deal damage, to delete those players. And I mean, what that means for Optic to be able to have your MVP step up in a moment where this series is probably going to be decided, right? Like, you got to find a way to get some momentum, gain some confidence to really punch the door at the end of this series. You find yourself in a grand finals. Who better than Lucid to step up?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you need out of Lucid. He's been, you know, he's your MVP of the entire season 1, and that is why he earned that MVP.
All right, rockets are up. FaZe have made the decision to try and go for him off of a few kills. They're able to secure them safely, but this shield can't quite come back up. SnakeBite is trying to make it up these B stairs, get into the hill. You do not want your rocket player in the hill. Rocketing Lucid would be a massive when he's in PD, and surely SnakeBite knows it. And I mean, taking him down, removing him from the map should be operation number 1 for FaZe for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I mean, 8 kills to 2 right now. Definitely a hot start here for FaZe. I mean, in these games, gosh, they've been so back and forth depending on how the opening start is. Some of these neck and neck down to the wire final plays. How hard it is to actually secure power weapons and or overshields in these game types. I mean, this is, I would argue to say this is probably close to the highest level of Halo play we've had in Infinite.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's only going to get better and better throughout season 2, as we see in every Halo. Season 2, season 3, however long the game's lifespan is, the next year will always have the meta develop, will always allow players to individually improve. And right now we're seeing some of the best individuals in the world. I would say 8 of probably the top 10 players in the world in this lobby right now going at it.
Definitely some incredible talent across the board. You can see, even with all of those kills and this heavy outslaying, FaZe hasn't gotten all that much hill time, though. With new rockets coming out, I can see both teams kind of avoiding any hill play just to focus on these weapons. But as soon as somebody grabs one of these, we're going to see the first hill secured.
Good damage by Roll 2. He's trying to see if he can make his way up these brood stairs, but he gets knocked to no shield. As soon as he gets his shield back, the Bulldog starting to bark inside Ivy, takes down APG. That was 3 down momentarily. Last player alive is Lucid. He gets spotted out. I believe Lucid was just able to kill the rocket carrier, though, so that although all of this chaos for the Rockets have happened, it is going to be FaZe that score that first point, but more important, or as important, they set up perfectly for this second hill, and these slays are going to allow them to get a nice chunk of time at the start of this one as well.
Yeah, you can see Renegade. He's got that stalker rifle. He's setting it up way towards back B here, sitting in red room. Wants to get some damage, but be in a position where he can escape if necessary. All of Optic coming off spawn towards back B. TriPPPeY doing his best to get some damage down, but Renegade with some great shots is going to force him back.
Red gun in the hand of Renegade, already starting to take over once again. He said, Lucid, that's enough of you. 12 kills for Renegade. Look at how many kills Optic even have. What is that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 kills for Optic, 12 for Renegade. Sorry, quick math on stream. It's difficult for me.
That's good. Yeah, but Renegade having 12, having more kills than the entire Optic squad right now. It's just, he's doing his best impression of Lucid from last game.
Yeah, they're taking turns, and unfortunately for Optic, Lucid at 2-7, not the same statistical performance you need out of him. You cannot expect him to do what he did last game every game. Everyone's got to step up, and unfortunately, you're going to have to do it now with a 2-0 deficit here momentarily. They're deciding to play for Rockets before they decide to move this hill. And if a couple kills go their way again, setting up for this third hill with a pair of Rockets sounds like a beautiful opportunity for FaZe.
Yeah, you can see having rockets right now in the hands of SnakeBite. He's 6-6 right now. FaZe has got a 2-0 lead. 3 minutes left to play, but great job by APG with the grenade. Finish off that kill on a SnakeBite. There's still one rocket left, if I'm not mistaken, and sure enough, he does find it here. Hiding in PD, waiting as long as he can for his teammates to come in and help. You can see Lucid. He gets the stalker rifle. He pushes up, helping APG best he can. APG wisely does not shoot that rocket. He wants to make sure he puts this to good use, and sure enough, does in fact kill Renegade.
Good discipline there from APG, like you said, to not waste the rocket. You need to make the most out of every situation. You're down 2-0, and these couple of kills will open the door for that to be a possibility for Optic to try and get back into this one. There is still plenty of time, especially for the hills on streets, to get back into this. That shotgun hill is fairly closed off as well. This courtyard hill typically goes pretty quickly, and they've already got themselves about half of this courtyard hill to play around. APG trying to play his life behind the box. Eventually, the jig is up. Frosty gets the 2 kills he needs to clear this out, and FaZe Clan have done a phenomenal job of breaking this hill.
Yeah, you can see Optic Gaming, they do have half of it capped, but like we said, that doesn't mean anything at the end of the day if you're not able to get it all the way. 2:19 left to play on the clock. Renegade, 15 kills. Frosty, 7. Frosty, 12. Optic Gaming, no one yet to even break double digits.
Optic back in the hill, trying to make this a 1-point game. The Slays are a number of the pass right now. You need to figure out a way to get 2 hills. Obviously, kills are going to matter, but it looks this first point for Optic is on the verge of going through. The hill is currently neutralized, and with rockets coming up, you wonder if Optic's going to try and force their hand towards these rockets, or are they going to just secure this point and get a move on to the 4th hill? They're not able to secure this one as of yet, and with rockets in the hill in the hands of Royal 2 to Ops to get out. He wants to neutralize this hill, take some time off the clock, and now all of a sudden you can see FaZe's game plan is clear. They are playing time.
Yeah, 1 rocket left. 2 players on P Street.
Get back in though.
Will be able to connect with one of them, but TriPPPeY wisely moves around, goes bottom center, tries to work with APG to secure a few kills. Sure enough, they get a couple. Last guy alive for FaZe is back PD. He did just push out, wanted to contest the hill. Frosty does pull off a pretty incredible play to kill Formal, but Formal does go ahead and secure the first hill here for Optic Gaming.
Yeah, they get that hill. They set up for the second perfectly. TriPPPeY lands himself a double, and because of that double, they're going to be able to get a nice little chunk of time here. All of a sudden, what was once a 2-0 lead doesn't nearly feel as comfortable now that that first hill is out of the way. There's 1:40 left, and this shotgun hill is a thing to try and break that is very difficult.
Yeah, you can see TriPPPeY is racking up time right here, and all of FaZe is trapped over towards C. They're trying to push up and get as much control of the map as they can, but Optic Gaming quickly racking up that time. You may see FaZe elect to just go ahead and give up this stronghold.
I don't know if they're going to have an option or a choice on what they want to do with this stronghold. It's Renegade versus the entire green wall right now. Renegade loses that one. He gets taken down. The game gets tied up. The hill moves to bottom middle, and Optic Gaming shows some resiliency here in game 4. They tie this game up.
Yeah, you can see now with the game being tied, 1:30 left to play. There's a good chance that this next hill will determine the winner that we have here. Lucid grabs himself a double kill, and still just immediately challenging. He knows he needs to get back out on the map. Those rockets are up. You have FaZe. They're playing as far back to C as they can, doing what they can to contest these, keep Formal away from grabbing the rockets. But it actually seems to be working out pretty well, actually, as they do take out APG. But the rest of them are forced to hide here. Formal dies. And actually, after all of that, I thought for sure Optic was going to walk away with those rockets, but the defense too strong from FaZe. They're able to get several kills here.
Had that rocket not do more damage to APG is the big question. Unfortunately, because of it, Roll 2 goes down. Those rockets get squandered, and somehow, some way, this scrappy play, even though FaZe ended up being the team that got rockets, they weren't able to get any hill time, and Optic come out positive in the Slays category right there. And as this hill likely to decide the match, 45 seconds on the clock, but As that approaches 0, it really is going to come down to whoever scores this next point, especially with this bottom mid hill that's so highly contested so often. And positioning favors Optic as well right now, but that could be all removed for some great shots from Frosty.
Yeah, TriPPPeY does a wise job of just running away, trying to get into C and stay alive here. 29 seconds left. Now, keep in mind, if we do hit 0 on the clock, it goes to overtime and next hill wins. If one of the teams is able to secure the hill before it hits 0, all they need to do is let time run out and win. So most likely, this next hill determines who takes this game number 4.
100%. 13 seconds now in regulation. We're very likely to go to that sudden death time with 5 seconds remaining. TriPPPeY going to be caught bottom middle. The flank, it's a perfect one from Frosty. He's going to try to acquire some of this hill time, have tram control, which is all you can ask for. And with rockets coming up in 5 seconds, Optic's hand is going to be forced here, and they're not going to be able to get there in time, it doesn't look. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how effective Frosty is going to be able to be, or I'm sorry, it was Renegade going for the rockets. He gets mowed down, and nobody really from FaZe there to support him. And that's actually going to be rockets going into the hands of APG, already being put to use.
Alright, so APG does grab himself 1 kill. That makes 2 players down. Lucid gets a double, 3 dead. Last player's back. Ivy, it's Frosty. He really wants to kill the hill player, but he is forced to run away, and Formal will clean up that kill. Big numbers advantage over here to FaZe now. And that was an incredible job by Optic Gaming to actually contest those rockets and secure them. Because at the end of the day, if Renegade got away with those, Optic would be in big trouble.
I'm thinking it's a bit of a blunder from FaZe as well to not have more resources spent making sure that those rockets get escorted to a safe location, right? You got to figure out a way to get that guy alive or be there to pick them up if he gets taken down. Neither was the case, but since then, that mistake's in the past. FaZe has gotten the slays they need, and look how far this bar is to being complete. Optic will have one last chance to try and break this setup here in game 4.
Yeah, they've got to immediately rush hill. They do get some people in the hill to contest. They cannot give up any time at all here. They have a player B stairs. They know both players are there. He's doing everything he can. Lucid is to allow TriPPPeY to come in and finish it off, but TriPPPeY, he's got to immediately get back into hill. Luckily, Frosty, he does get forced out. That is a numbers advantage here once again for Optic, but Frosty just doing everything he can to buy time and allow the rest of FaZe to come in here and help contest the hill.
Oh, Optic get a couple of kills. This is all of a sudden a little bit more interesting. It looked like it was going to be all FaZe Clan 3 down, Royal 2 can't get the hill either. And as Frosty desperates to try and get them out, he does it. And that is going to be a moment and release from the pressure. But right now, Optic are able to get right back in the hill. TriPPPeY back tower with a shotgun being a nuisance. And look how close this last hill is. Rockets come up in the meantime. They get what they use, but they whiff. Both rockets whiff. And that's the key to victory for FaZe, the moment they needed. And Lucid's going to want those ones back. But unfortunately, in order to get them, we'd have to have a time machine.
Oh my God, Wes. Those rockets, he would give anything to have those rockets back.
Is that a new candidate for worst rockets of the tournament? Because we have an entire top 10 at this point.
I mean, it's hard to tell because when you go in for the award of worst rockets of the event,
True.
You have to decide kind of like where the pressure is, right? He flies around the corner. There's 2 players. They're jumping at him. It's not a whole lot of reaction time. We've seen some pretty bad rockets where there's no pressure on the map. You free kills to be had, but still not be able to connect. So
Correct.
That could have gone a lot different. Those
the
rockets,
angle was tough.
Yeah, at least they were shot in the good direction, right? But if he had only shot a little bit closer and it didn't hit the back of the stairs there, he would have walked away potentially with a double kill with that first rocket even.
Yeah, 100%. And if that's a snipe, Lucid probably just no-scopes both of them in the head. But unfortunately, we found ourselves here. It's Aquarius Slayer. It's game 5 of the best of 7. The series now tied up at 2-2. And we'll see who's going to be the one that steps up in this game. Last game, Lucid statistically, maybe not as strong, but if we can take it back to game 3, Lucid was the greatest player we have ever seen. So I'm sure he'll have something in store for us already impacting the outcome of the game. It's Formal trying to go for camo, but unfortunately he can't quite secure it, and that camo being down, I believe, is gonna mean it transfers hands over to FaZe.
Yeah, you can see only a couple kills here on the board for both teams. 3-3. Games slowing down very quickly. Both of these teams are looking for the victory here today, and you can see the level of respect they're both granting to each other.
Yeah, it's 5-4. Lucid with 2 right now, and it's kind of a stalemate, a pretty slow Aquarius Slayer, but I have a feeling all we're waiting is for one significant numbers advantage to really see some pressure applied.
Yeah, you can see 2 players go down. Lucid does have 3 kills for the squad. Neck and neck game. Formal's got nowhere to go, and it looks like he may lose. It looked like he had Heat Wave, although I'm not sure where that Heat Wave just went, Wes. Might need to make a note of that for bug fixes.
We'll write that one down. Appreciate your help there.
But,
always can count on you.
Oh, wait, they found it.
Yep. Never mind. False alarm.
Where did it go?
In the hands of Lucid. In the hands of Lucid is where it ended up. And that's exactly what FaZe fans did not want to see, as Lucid probably the premier heat wave opportunity that you can have for the green wall right now. And he knocks down Renegade to no shield. Renegade stays bottom mid. Renegade rechows, and that's not something Lucid ever expected from Renegade right there. And that costs him that heat wave, his life. And Renegade finds his 5th kill of the match and makes it a 4-kill lead for FaZe.
Yeah, you can see pistol in his hands as well. Nobody grabs this thing more than Renegade does at this point. Pretty certain of that here after today's tournament. Camo is still up on the map. FaZe taking their time. They do not want to force this camo. As long as they leave camo up, Optic kind of has to stay in position to where they can at least contest it or keep eyes on it a little bit. So it's actually kind of a pretty wise decision not to force that and just go for kills first.
The sidearm back in action. Renegade putting it to work. Takes down APG. Gets some good information that he's back to player into the closet. Lucid gets deleted. The teamwork from FaZe right now. Something to deal with for Optic. Formal trying to finish this kill. It's not an easy one, but he gets the job done, and that releases a lot of the pressure that FaZe would have just had on the base. A phenomenal job by Formal. That 1v1 is crucial to keeping his team in this one. Unfortunately, the kill does get swung back, but at least the magnitude of the kill he achieved was far greater as far as the score.
There's so many commandos, so many pistols, everything in constant use here for both of these squads. Formal gets caught out by the last player alive on FaZe. And gets melted with that commando. He kind of gets stuck with a clamber back to top center there. As we're looking at the scores, you've got solid all-around play from both squads, but look at the assists here for FaZe. You've got Renegade 10-0-3, so no assists, but everyone else on the squad 6, 4, and 4 once again. Over half the kills here for FaZe being assisted.
And this isn't the only game Renegade's had 0 assists with a ton of kills. I'm starting to think there's a rhythm and a madness to the way that this team is having success. Getting his kills is definitely something Renegade is the best at, but look at the level of support Renegade has with this roster currently and how successful he's being. In the meantime, though, Optic making this one a contestation. They get 3-1 in the trade department for kills, and 21-26 is just a 5-kill game. And with map control and Lucid pushing the pedal to the metal right there, they have an opportunity to tie this game up here shortly, and look how aggressive Lucid looks to be.
Yeah, he is playing extremely aggressive. He had one thrust in his back pocket, uses it to help avoid a grenade, jump back out. Ooh, I think he put a couple of shots at the TriPPPeY's back there, but luckily he's still going to be able to finish off that kill onto Royal 2.
Lucid with 11 now, really starting to step up his slaying prowess, and that's exactly what Optic needed. It's a 3-kill game, game 5 of the best of 7 right now, and this is a pivotal one. Typically, you need to win the Slayers. If you're going to win these best of 7s, they're so impactful on the outcome. It's so difficult to tell which way this series is going to go, but as back and forth as it's been this game, not close to going back and forth, but FaZe do a phenomenal job there to withstand some of the pressure, some of the map control. And look at the slays. Frosty and 11 both, or Frosty and Renegade both paired with 11. Lucid needs someone else to step up now.
Absolutely does. You can see TriPPPeY gets taken out. The heat wave has been instrumental here for this FaZe run as they built the largest lead of the game so far. And 3 dead once again here for Optic Gaming. TriPPPeY comes off spawn towards car. Looks like they will maintain some decent map control here as everyone else spawning in towards blue. Renegade, of course, none other than Renegade coming in to trade out that kill on TriPPPeY, and Optic Gaming just pushing out a little bit too aggressively, not recognizing the players that flanked all the way around the map to their P side, and just kill after kill going in favor of FaZe. They are running away with this game.
Yeah, look how aggressive SnakeBite and Renegade are with each other right there. Their push in front of the base is something nobody wants to see. When that level of control is given and that aggression is felt, you are so limited in the answers that you have to try and deal with it. And once again, front the base. It's clockwork for SnakeBite to be in the enemy team's face, and you can best believe Frosty's going to show up at some point and start getting these kills.
Yeah, you can see as several more members of Optic go down 47-36. We're at the point of no return here for Optic. Even though they were leading the series to start, or had a lead in this series, it has quickly disappeared as Frosty and Renegade sitting at 15 apiece. Throw in the 11 assists for Frosty, though, and that is over 50% kill participation for Frosty alone.
Now, one game away, FaZe is from winning the SSG Snowdown here this weekend. Optic on the brink of elimination. Will we see the best version of Optic? I think so. I think we're destined for a game 7. Fingers crossed here, everyone. Type 1 in the chat if you want to see a game 7. We need to summon the green wall. We need them to have one hell of a performance here in order to push this series the full distance. But for right now, FaZe look extremely clean on Aquarius Slayer to take the lead back in this series. Kyle, anything specifically stick out to you? Because that aggression that we saw towards the end was something I feel like we're going to see a lot of from FaZe in the future.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this, you can just tell between Frosty and Renegade's playstyle, this is a team that wants to be constantly in your face. You know, one of the things, like taking a look at the scores, is sometimes even the blowouts seem relatively close games. There's no way to tell how these games are going to go. You know, what kind of form are you seeing from all of these players when so many players in one lobby are able to completely take over the game? You can see some of these blowouts happen. We're seeing some neck and neck down to the wire overtime fights, like on Streets King of the Hill or on Streets King of the Hill or on some of the Slayers here. And then you're seeing these complete blowouts where Lucid goes completely off, or Frosty's dropping plus 21 on some of these teams here. So it's been an absolute wild back and forth series.
Not sure what happened at the start, but the result, Lucid with camo. 3 go down for FaZe, and it looks like TriPPPeY started this one off with a nice double kill to kick his team off in some map control. But as Lucid tries to make his way towards this shock rifle with this camouflage, he's got to figure out a way to make a play to get this ball and secure it. But unfortunately, when the second you lose formal, you know it's your time to slay.
Now, the good news for Optic, wow, what a shot as well. The good news for Optic is that it was Recharge Slayer that they did end up winning before. Lucid also not missing, except for as I jinx him here and Frosty cleans up that kill. Somehow, even with those incredible shots from Lucid, several members of Optic still fall and ball goes over in the hands of FaZe.
Yeah, frustrating for sure, right? But I mean, if you take a look at the kills, Royal 2's got to be doing something successful. It's less than a minute into the game. He's found himself his 5th kill. So as much as we'll hype up SnakeBite, Royal 2, or SnakeBite, Renegade, and Frosty, Royal 2 is every bit of an MVP on any team he's ever been on. So what a roster this is to try and compete against. And although Lucid's still popping off, you still have to deal with somebody on the other team. TriPPPeY matching Lucid's production so far with 4, have now given an elevator opportunity for the setup of Optic to be the first real points on the board.
Yeah, you can see Optic looking to get back into this one. Lucid and TriPPPeY leading the pack. 10 kills there between the two of them. And as we say that, several players going down. 2 drop. Everyone from FaZe is still alive. And this is one of those times where it's just the worst actual time for everyone on your team to fall, right? Formal, luckily, is able to trade out one of those kills. But that camo is up, and it's looking like FaZe is making a play for it.
Renegade's baiting it right now, but Ball in the hand with the player down. FaZe is in a very difficult situation to try and compete for any kind of a power-up. I believe they're going to lose the battle bottom mid, but Renegade gets a kill and actually gets away with the camo somehow, some way, in a disadvantageous position, down numbers. Renegade once again sneaks away with the camo, and what kind of an impact is he going to have is the big question. Formal gets ripped to shreds with the shock. Camo's still in his hand, so he can play his life very slowly here. Lucid's re-chowing, trying to find him. But because he's camouflaged, it's going to be a very difficult kill to try and find. And now Renegade with the shock rifle can allow this setup to really manifest, but he gets deleted. And that's the pick Optic need to break this setup quick.
The timing on that. Renegade, when he heard that camo start to expire, it's probably pure panic mode. Tries to run, but Optic Gaming is ready for him. They were trying to keep their eyes out. You know, one thing you notice or start seeing a lot in these recharge games is when players do have shock rifles, some like to sit back and kind of snipe from a protected location. A lot of other players, and kind of how the meta is developing, want to get out on the map, go for as many kills as they can, quick kills as well. So that's one of the things you're seeing here from Renegade.
A couple of wasted shots to get the last of the shock to be all he's playing with right now in the hands of Frosty. A push from APG on catwalk is immediately removed. That makes this setup a little bit stronger. And I mean, Kyle, we haven't even referenced the score. 57-9 and climbing, and Frosty is going to work.
That was not an easy no-scope either. Those are one of the more difficult angles. When you're just standing right next to somebody and you just need to move left or right, those are the easy snipes. These plays from Frosty, the snipes, the perfects with the BR, these are monstrous plays.
Yeah, because in the meantime, you have Royal 2 with the ball, and look at his time, 64 seconds. A lot of this time has acquired while Frosty's going to work over in blue. Every bit of time that he's hitting those shots, putting players in respawns, is 3 points for FaZe.
Keep in mind, FaZe is up 3-2 in this series. They are completely dominating round 1 of this game number 6. They are looking to close Optic out and win the SSG Spartan Snowdown right now.
And they played this game type earlier today in winners bracket, and this was the game type that Optic beat the hell out of them. It was a 2-0, and it was not nearly close. So for FaZe to come out this time around, gain this significant of a lead, they still need to punch their ticket on this first round. But what a statement that would be.
Absolutely here. Slays are fairly even between both teams. Optic, they're doing everything they can to start racking up some of this ball time. They have good vision on where the push is coming from. APG rotating that ball to try to help out Formal as well. Formal does get taken out, but Lucid trades out a couple of kills himself, and I like this play from APG a lot. They do have a player in A, but Optic Gaming is quickly looking to collapse here, clear this player out, but Renegade with the finesse is just too strong. APG does take him out, but he bought a lot of time here for his team.
Yeah, but all FaZe need to do is get this ball rotated into pipes and hold on to it. Just like that, Frosty does it. And now he forces Optic to fly at him. But they're not even going to be able to get here in time. It appears 5 seconds. And he's going to walk out the front as Optic come in the low door. Unfortunately, Frosty doesn't even want to end this without getting a kill first. A little bit of show to end this first round. Frosty puts a punctuation on it. And that was a dominant FaZe round. And now Optic on a brink of elimination from this tournament. And this grand finals could be over here in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, the defending Halo World Champions have their backs against the wall in this first event of 2023 here. And you can see Renegade flies out on the map, no fear whatsoever, grabs himself camo, and immediately goes for ball. They put 3 dead for Optic to start this one, and that is not the start you were hoping for if you are rooting here for Optic.
It was a completely different start last round, and we saw how that round ended up. This time, FaZe get the better of the break. They get the ball in the pipes, and Renegade with shock and camo. We've seen this movie before. APG gets his head ripped off. Lucid tries to push up red stairs. He gets taken down. Formal tries to trade it out. He successfully does, but trades are not a win condition right now for Optic. You need to find a way to go 2 for 1 as you got the first pick from Renegade.
Nice grenade from Renegade. Will clean up that kill onto TriPPPeY. He's still moving around with that shock rifle out. They've got a 22-point lead here, and they are just looking to take their time with this. They know what great position they're in. They know they're close to winning their first event as a team together. And the Slays-wise, just been heavily outslaying Optic.
Only 22 points was awarded to FaZe throughout that entire opening setup. So that was a good job by Optic to minimize the damage here. That is a very easy time to try and make up for it, but they've got to get that ball in hand. They've got to find a way to get a realistic setup. A couple of slays are going to be needed in order to get that ball out of the neutralized position. And unfortunately, in the kill feed, you see Renegade with that shock rifle going to work. That is not what the green wall wants to see right now. Can they figure out a way to make up for those slays? All 4 members of Optic actually just go down. They're spawning over at blue, and this is going to be in at least an additional 20 seconds, 20 points awarded to FaZe as they try to formulate another setup break.
And with camo spawning here, Optic, they're going to have to make a play for this. So they've got to keep an eye on ball, but also try to push out and contest overshield. APG, he does grab himself a kill, but Renegade answers right back. This is what you want to see. Oh my God, Lucid with the stick. That is everything here now for this team. They've completely shut down the plays from FaZe. They're able to grapple ball and escape with camo. I don't know how they just pulled that off, but that is exactly what they needed.
That was all 4 down for FaZe. A perfect setup break. A little bit of fortunateness on the fact that TriPPPeY didn't get assassinated there. It allowed him to trade in a situation he probably shouldn't have, but in the meantime, Optic trying to figure out a way to hold this elevator setup, but this is the first real push from FaZe being dealt with. Last player alive, SnakeBite. What a play from APG to stay alive here, make himself a hard kill, and although he eventually goes down, the damage is done. He built a distraction, and that should be a nice 15 points awarded to Optic.
Yeah, you can see Optic knows FaZe is coming off spawn in here towards gold. You've got Sniper in the hands of Lucid, and what a shot to connect onto Renegade and just buy time for Optic to rotate this ball out. They have numbers. I'd almost like to see them drop ball and fight here so they don't lose control. They can easily shut this down. Somehow, 4v3 scenario, 3 of them go down. They lose shock rifle. APG is stuck in a corner with nowhere to go. And that is not as much time as I was thinking Optic was going to walk away with there. If they had dropped ball and fought a little bit more, I think they could have set up with a full, or gotten control with a full setup at C and even played the ball if they did break through.
Yeah, not as much time, and honestly, no opportunity to really play the ball either. So the ball immediately transitions to FaZe's hands, right? You weren't in an opportunity to play the ball in the back of blue because you tried to play it close to the front. And because of that, FaZe are now continuing to build their lead. TriPPPeY under a lot of pressure right now. Frosty with the triple looks for the O. APG shuts him down, but damage done, and the score continuing to grow.
This is getting scary, right? This is the point of no return. Optic's doing everything they can. A great repulse on the ball by SnakeBite to get the play ball here. And you've still got Renegade with the shock rifle. And I mean, I feel like he's had the shock rifle all game, Wes.
It sure feels like it, but he's not even leading the team with kills. Frosty is right now. Everybody doing their part, and that repulse from SnakeBite to play the ball is exactly how you play the situation when the setup gets broken. That is the mistake that Optic made earlier, was not playing the ball. SnakeBite understands that that's the only way that they come back is with a nice blue setup. He doesn't even give them that opportunity, and although there's plenty of time, this ball continuously the focal point of this FaZe clan. SnakeBite gets the ball all the way to the back of Sword, and all he needs to do is hold it for 10 more seconds. An overkill from Renegade is gonna do it. FaZe have created the upset. They take down your former world champs, and they are currently the SSG Snowdown champions themselves.
Renegade punching the victory in with an overkill as well to add insult to injury. What a tournament by FaZe. What a lower bracket run. They lost to Optic earlier today, forced their way all the way back through lower bracket, meet them in the grand finals, have a dominating first grand finals before the reset, and a pretty dominating finals in the second grand finals reset there. The only exception of those games where Lucid goes completely off and takes over a game. Other than that, this has been the FaZe roster just running away with it.